What's up, y'all? You are listening to For the Artists, a podcast brought to you by Creative M Projects. I'm your host, Melissa Sharee, and I have another. I always say amazing because the people that we bring on truly are amazing. It's my favorite description, okay? Because I'm just amazed by the things that you guys are doing, the things that you're aspiring to do. So, you know what? This feature is no different. She is also amazing. And if you're watching her, you can see that she just looks fabulous and amazing all at the same time. But Andrea Jones is our guest today. She's a singer, a songwriter, and an actress from Sacramento, California, currently living in the City of Angels, whoop whoop, Los Angeles. Her sultry yet powerful voice is filled with emotion, and it makes her song delivery one of a kind. Most recently, she performed Aretha Franklin's You're All I Need to Get By at the LA premiere of Respect, starring Jennifer Hudson. And you know what? In the middle of a pandemic, y'all ain't got no excuses, okay? Because Miss Andrea, she booked an IBM cloud commercial with super producer, Brazoo's co-founder, Timbaland. Okay? What? We'll get into that. We're going to ask you questions. She starred in numerous hit gospel stage plays. She's a solo artist who is open for, oh my gosh, a ton of phenomenal acts. PJ Morton, Frank McComb. The list goes on, okay? She's a songwriter. She's had several song placements in TV and film, including her songs Back to Me and Love of My Life. Her newfound love, though, is voiceover, which she is actively pursuing. And in her spare time, she loves to work out, binge on Married at First Sight, shop, travel. Girl, we can hang out, visit with family, friends, and bake. Yes, peach cobbler and sweet potato pie are her specialties. Okay, I'm gonna have to ask you about that before we finish. And her faith, Andrea's faith in God and the support of her family and friends are the key elements of success. If you ask her, she's gonna tell you that she is truly living the dream. Andrea, welcome to For the Artist.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you, a singer and a songwriter. Okay, so which one is your favorite if you had to choose? Are they just equal for the singer songwriter?
It just varies. Some days I say, you know what, I just want to be a songwriter now. And then I get a chance to perform and it's like, oh no, we're back to singing. So I think the performance and the adrenaline and the crowd and just it just all brings it back to me. I think it's just emerging. A singer-songwriter is just the best of both worlds for me.
The best of both worlds. It's like the cake and the ice cream.
Yes, because you have to have both.
You got to have both. That's right. You answered the question before I even got to ask it because I was going to say, all right, so tell me about the performance. I could just see you just lighting up. You're like, but then I perform. So talk to me about that. What is this like, performing? And how old were you when you had your first performance?
I started singing in church like most people, or, at home with my family there's a lot of singers in my family. My grandmother played the piano. So all these family gatherings, my aunts and uncles they're such strong vocalists. And we would just look up to them like, wow, I want to do that one day, and then it just got to the point where we started singing in the children's choir and they asked me to lead a little song. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. But, my parents were like, you could do it. They encouraged me, but they never forced me. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed it, and it just continued from there. We changed churches when I was about 13. And then I was in a choir that was a little older. The kids were a little older. And so then they started giving me more mature songs to lead. And that is really what I think just kind of sparked it for me.
More mature songs, meaning level of difficulty.
Level of difficulty. Also, just more mature and understanding what I was singing about. As a kid, you're like, follow Jesus, take no, it's like it's sing-songy stuff, and then you get, to I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord, and
Mm.
having to deliver that and,
Mm.
really feel that and understand that. So, um, it just was a smooth transition. I always had a passion for music and I love to write. But I was never as confident in my voice as I am now. My brother sang as well, or he sings as well. And so I would always sing with him. And
Mhm.
then I started singing by myself. I was like, I can do this. He was like my crutch. So, as I got older, like I said, I just got more confident in my voice and finding my voice. And
Mhm.
ever since, it's just been a learning process and, building upon the strengths that I have and also tackling those weaknesses in my voice that I want to address.
Mhm. So in terms of tackling your weaknesses, so were you working with like a vocal coach? Were you in school training? Like how did you do that?
When I first moved to LA, I didn't really know anyone, but I started meeting other singers and everyone was saying, "Oh, you should get a vocal coach." And not discrediting my talent, but everybody had a vocal coach. I didn't have one, so they referred me to Romeo Johnson. He's like the voice, the vocal coach for the stars. So I said, "Well, that's who I want." So I signed up with him and we started doing our lessons, and he really stretched me.
Mm.
And he gave me permission to just be free to make mistakes. I had that kind of perfectionist attitude. I didn't want to make a mistake in front of people or sing a wrong note. He's
Yeah.
like, this is what it's for. This is the rehearsal. This is the time where you can mess up and find out, hey, I can hit that note. Or yeah, maybe we stay away from those kinds of songs. It's just he said I taught myself how to sing. So I had to unlearn some things and learn how to breathe properly, and then I picked songs that I felt were in my range, but still had a bit of a challenge. And he really helped bring those things out of me. And once I kind of grasped, those concepts and started doing more warm-ups and taking better care of my voice, I started to see a drastic difference. And so I always thank him and, praise him for helping me get on the right track.
Mhm. So about how old were you when that was going on? Were you elementary
Ooh.
school, high school, younger?
When I started taking voice lessons,
Mhm.
oh no, I was about 25, 24, 25. Yeah, I
Yes.
was older.
I love that.
Yeah.
You
And at
know?
first I was a little like skeptical. I'm like, well, I feel like I sing okay. Like, I don't know if I need a coach. Not that I didn't need improvement, but I just never heard of that. And
Mhm.
so then someone put it to me, like, well, Michael Jordan has a coach, and all these different people that you admire that are the best at what they do, they
Yeah.
still have a coach. So
Mhm.
that sealed it for me. And I said, yeah, okay, let's go for it. And it was the best decision I could have made.
I feel like sometimes there's such a stigma that is attached to just coaching or getting assistance in
Right.
general. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's music or what. It's like, oh, but it's like, no, like the people that are great, the ones that are the best, they
Right.
link up with people that can help pull out the
Mm-hmm.
best and just kind of fine tune, I guess, what's already
Right.
there.
Right.
So, and it's very encouraging. I love that that you're sharing that you didn't even start that till your 20s, because a lot of times we hear stories and people are like, oh, they talk, about how they started things so early on in life,
Right.
and then there's some people that start to get discouraged because like, oh, I'm too old. Which, when you think about it, if you live to be 90, which some of my people live to be in their 90s, is
Mine
like,
too.
no, 20's pretty young, boo. Like, you just getting started.
Right. Yeah. 70 more years. It's
Yeah,
like,
like
woo.
calm down.
Yeah, no, I am so glad, and I'm always learning. I'm taking classes all the time, even during the pandemic for like voiceover. I was on a lot of Zooms
Mm-hmm.
and workouts, and it was a great time to kind of settle, because sometimes we get so engulfed in the performance and gigging here and going to this rehearsal and that, and no time to really take a step back and say, okay, where can I improve, or what else do I want to do? You
Yeah.
know, And so the pandemic slowed me down.
Yes.
And
Okay.
so I was able to focus on some other things that I had interest in because I wasn't able to go out and perform,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm. But I'm sure you missed the performing.
Yes, but I also found TikTok
Oh,
and
girl, you on TikTok?
I am on TikTok. I am lightweight addicted to
And you know
TikTok
what you're
videos.
doing on TikTok?
I do. I'm duetting all these different people and
Wow.
doing voiceover challenges. It's so much fun. I was like, wow. I at first I got on TikTok, and then I deleted the app. I was like, this is for kids. I can't. I'm not gonna be on here dancing. And then I saw some voiceover challenges and some duets, and people were just playing, instruments, and I would sing along. I said, oh, wait a minute, I can use this. This is fun. And so it really sparked something again in me for the performance, and then collaborating with people that I didn't even know. And now we keep in touch, and it's like we have a whole little community on TikTok of singers and voiceover.
Andrea, that's dope. Okay, because let me tell you, I got a a TikTok. Okay, and I was on there trying to dance around with my niece. I can't figure out all that stuff,
Oh
all the
no, no,
editing
no.
and the this and the that. It's like,
Mm-mm.
you know what? I'll just stick to my Snapchat because I press the button and then I can know how to put a filter on and I know how to turn it off.
Yeah, no, TikTok was it for me. It really helped save some sanity during the pandemic. Even some of the artists that I did some of the covers for would come by and like the videos, and
What?
so it was pretty cool. I'm like, all right,
Oh
this
my
is
gosh. I'm
fun.
gonna have to find you on TikTok for sure.
Yes, it's
For
Andrea
sure.
Jones ENT. Like,
Okay.
because I do
Okay.
everything.
Now you made a statement that said, what did you say? Most people start in the church or something like that, right?
A
When I
lot of
said,
people that I know started the church. Huh?
listen, I think it's only the ones that are great.
Oh.
I'm gonna say that. I feel like the greats usually have their roots in the church. I mean,
It's very rare that I hear an artist say that I love that didn't start or have some kind of even a toe in for a little bit in the church. It's
yeah,
just I can't think of one that like you said, that's a great that I love that just
girl,
didn't
you
have
could.
that.
I mean, once you gotta have that spirit and that soul. Those are what make musicians, I think, or at least singers. I think
Right.
that's what makes singers phenomenal and amazing. The ability to be able to tap into your spirit and your soul and to bring that
Mm-hmm.
to life.
Right.
And what better place than in church, because that's.
Well, I remember one time they asked me to lead this song, and it was by Daryl Coley. He's preparing me, for
Mm.
something that I can't even handle right now. And
Mhm.
I remember singing that song, and I had never, I don't even know if it's like the Holy Ghost, the anointing, whatever it is, I had never encountered that. But while I was singing that, I really felt like an out of body experience. Like I could, I knew I was still doing it, but I was just in, and
Yeah.
it was scary. And when I was done singing, I don't even I don't even know what was going on. I just was like, okay, well, that's never happened on the R&B stage. I can tell you that. I was like, okay, God, yeah, that was special. You know, when there's nothing like gospel music. I write R&B. I love to sing jazz, even a
Mhm.
little country music sometimes, and pop, whatever. Good music is
Yeah.
what I love. But there is nothing like gospel music and the feeling, and just having grown up in that environment. There's nothing like it for me.
Nothing like it.
Yeah.
So have you done any recording of your stuff, your own things that you've
Yeah, I
written or
have a
whatever?
couple of songs that are out right now. Most of the songs that I have are from films that I wrote original content for. So a couple years ago, I do a lot of musical theater, like you mentioned, with Don B. Welch.
Mhm.
And we started doing theater about 2010. And then he graduated to start doing films. And so, I always let people know I write. songs. So if you
Mm-hmm.
need something for your, film or project, let me know. And he said, okay, well, this is the content, this is the title, see, you can submit something and see what you come up with. So the film was called 24-Hour Love. And the song I wrote was Sometimes Love Just Ain't Enough. So
Mm.
I put that out on iTunes, and um, it started from there. And then I recorded a few more songs for some of his other films, Back to Me. Um, there was for a film called The Divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did a song called Gray Streets that was for this film called Gray Streets, but it
Mm-hmm.
was like a mobster kind of movie. So it was pretty intense, but it was fun. It was so out of my bag, but I pulled it off, and the producers were happy, and it went amazing with the film. So I've written more things catered to films,
Mm-hmm.
original content, which I love. And so the couple of those songs are online right now. And I want to do a project, but I'm still kind of not sure exactly what I want to do as far
Okay.
as the project.
Okay. So you're gonna wait till you're clear on that.
Yes.
So let's talk about the nitty gritty real quick. Just,
Okay.
because somebody might be listening and they might be like, dang. So she was able to put out those songs on iTunes and, write for these. What was her process like in terms of, like, did they already have musicians and everything set up for you? Did you have to find all those pieces and pull them together yourself? Like, just talk a little bit about the nitty gritty of, like, I don't know, pick one of the songs and tell us about
Okay.
what it was like to do that.
Sure. So for Sometimes Love Just Ain't Enough, I knew a couple of producers. I knew kind of the feel that I wanted to go with. So Michael Lloyd, a great musician that I know, producer, I asked him, I said, hey, I have this opportunity. Would you like to collaborate with me? So he said, sure. So I went over to his house. He played me a gazillion tracks. And I listened. I was like, okay, yeah. That's nice. Okay. Not quite. It's just, I kind of knew the feel that I was going for. And then he played this one track. I said, oh, I think that's it. So he said, okay, well, I'll email that to you. You work on it, and, we'll add anything to it or take whatever away from it when you get your concept done. So I had my little Pro Tools set up and at home, and started writing and thinking about the script, and came up with the idea, and I sent it back to him. He was okay with it. Don was okay with it, and the Swirl Films, the production company, was approving of it,
Mm-hmm.
and it got placed. So as far as my writing, I guess, style or approach, is just kind of knowing that I have to condense this body of work, these all these pages into like 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. So how can I tell the same story that he just told in 3 minutes? And so I have to kind of just, do a lot of brainstorming. Um, Sometimes, just letting the track play, thinking about the concept. Okay, sometimes, so it's like, was it you? Was it me? Doesn't matter, because it's clear to see we're not meant to be in and out, hot and cold, left and right, peace and fights. That's all we know. How can we ever grow? And it pains me to say this, no other way to explain it. Baby, we got to face it. Sometimes love just ain't enough.
Oh.
So, when I was like, is this too wordy? But then I was like, no, the way it felt with the music, it was, it vibed. So
Mm-hmm.
I just went with it. And it, you know, everybody has a different writing process. I sometimes get the music and it sparks something. Sometimes I come up with a melody, and then I talk to one of my friends who's a musician and say, hey, can you play something to that? And then build upon it. So then we split the production or the songwriting that way. I'm always about being fair. I've never wanted to be in the industry where someone says, oh, no, she doesn't play fair, or she's trying to take this much credit or that. I always want to be on the up and up, and very clear about splits and everything, because that's how you keep working. That's how you maintain integrity.
Mm-hmm. So you have a little network.
I do. And as you start, going to open mics and meeting other musicians, and social media doesn't hurt. People see what you're doing and then they say, hey, well, if you're going to write for another film, I'd love to submit some music. So then it starts to, build from there. And then I don't have to ask as much, but I do have a writing partner that I go to quite often. His name is Joe Archie, and he just gets me. I say, Joe, I need this kind of feel, this tempo, and this is the subject matter. He sends me something. I'm like, how, were you in my head, or how did you do that? And I write to it and we're done. It's not a whole lot of changes. So I just thank God for, placing people in my path that understand the concepts and the music and the vision that I have when I'm writing these original songs for these films, because that's really what I want to do, more of. But each placement puts me in a better position to get, a feature film or, one of those blockbuster film placements. So
Yeah. So how long have you been in LA for? A long time now?
21 years.
21 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've had 21 years to be building your network here in LA.
Definitely not overnight. Yes. It's been quite a journey, but I love it. I mean, the only thing is that my family is from Sacramento. So, it's like a 6-hour drive. Before the pandemic, a 1-hour flight or so. But that's the only thing that I don't like about living in LA, is being away from my family so much. But I do make that drive. And LA has been good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came here to go to grad school, and then I start winning competitions for singing, and then I started getting in sessions and joined the choir at church, and people start calling me to do sessions and other gigs. And so it was just divine timing. I wasn't looking for it per se. I could sing, but I didn't know anyone in the industry. So it wasn't like, I came out here, yeah, you're going to hook me up and we're going to do this and you're going to put me on this gig. God just directed my path. So it's just been an incredible 21-year journey.
Yeah. So when you say you weren't looking for it in terms of music, right? What were you looking for though? Were you looking for anything at all, or were you just kind of floating out there?
I was just doing what I loved. I never knew anyone that was famous or that had hit it big. When I was younger, the industry seemed untouchable. It did not seem accessible. Like, you could meet your favorite artists. I mean, Sacramento, I met maybe Dennis Rodman. I don't know. I mean, I didn't meet any music people, in Sacramento. So it was not anything that I thought was necessarily attainable. But when I got to LA and I started running into celebrities and start working with them, and, in theater, I do a lot of theater. So then Don brings a lot of celebrities like Loretta Devine or Vanessa Bell Calloway or Ernest Thomas, or Lettucey. There's so many different amazing people, but we get to work with them or sing with them. And then, it just kind of spirals from there. And then you get the respect of those industry veterans, who may refer you to something or ask you to come sing at something for them. And, their stamp of approval does help. I mean, it's Hollywood. So when you get someone that has a credible name, say, like, basically an introduction, like, hey, check this person out, people are going to be more inclined than if I just walk up to you and say, hey, can you check out my music? They're like, I don't know who you are, So
yeah, the names are make it credible, especially where we're at.
Exactly.
For sure. So you performed at the premiere of the movie Respect.
Yes.
You're All I Need to Get By.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, that's heavy. That's big, girl.
It was heavy. I was so excited when I got the call, but then I said, oh, this is for the Queen. This is Aretha. Like, this is not, you have to take this seriously. And I take all my gigs seriously, but I knew the power of the moment. I knew that it was a great opportunity and a great honor to be asked to sing this song. So sometimes, you think, oh, I know that song. And then you're like, oh no, I have to actually sing it and deliver it. So I said, let me go over these lyrics and make sure I understand them inside and out, and that I'm not thinking about that, so that I can emote, give my most or the best emotion, when it comes to the song, because Aretha didn't pull any punches. She went for it every time. So it's like, you can't be thinking about, is that the right lyric or is that the right note? You got to know. So I have my microphone set up here, and I have my little, speakers going. Like, I was performing in front of those people every time. I'm sure my neighbors wanted to call and complain, but I was going to get it right. I was going to bring my A game, and I believe the performance, I was very pleased with it. They were very pleased with it. And I was just happy to be in the moment and give the performance that I felt that she deserved, that the movie deserved, that the after party guests deserved,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The fact that you were willing to put in the work,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so important. Some people get opportunities and they kind of do things haphazard, and it shows. People can tell when you don't prepare. It doesn't have to be music. It could just be in life. You show up to a meeting and you're shuffled and you don't know exactly what's going on or whatever. People know, and they don't want to invest in that. If they say, "Hey, she showed up to do the work. She was prepared." Oh, who is that? That's what I wanted them to walk away saying.
yeah.
Who is that? And so, when, like you said, when you put in the work, it shows. And in this business, there's always somebody coming up in the rears, somebody in the wings that will take your place. And I don't look at it as a competition per se, but I say, hey, I enjoy what I do and I want to keep doing it, so I need to be excellent.
Now you come off to me as you're there's a certainty that you have about yourself, and I think that that's a beautiful thing because then you're not kind of like just loosey goosey kind of wavering all over the place. And I'm just wondering, where did you get that from in terms of that sense of security, that sense of surety? Surety, if that's a word, certainty, but it's a confidence, you know what I mean? But
Right.
not an arrogance.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've always had that or if you grew into that, but if you could, share a little bit about that.
Well, I believe it comes from my parents. First of all, just my upbringing. My parents are very grounded. My dad's, pretty quiet. My mom was more of an extrovert. My mom was an English teacher, and my dad was an administrator. So they worked in the same school district. And so that I went to school. And so I would go to school, and I knew a lot of the people knew who I was before I even, it's like, oh, okay. So I think there was a level of just having to know that you're being watched, not in a bad way, but people are looking out for you and at you. And so there's a way that you carry yourself. And then my parents always encouraged whatever interest that I had. So it was never like, oh, well, you shouldn't try that. Or you want to try that? Okay, let's go. You want to play basketball? Cool. You want to play volleyball? All right. You want to sing? They never pushed us, and said, you're going to do this. Or you want to take piano? Sure. So then when you start having successes, people allow you to fail, or allow you to, hey, oh, I am really good at that. Okay, so let's move in that direction. So then you gain confidence in that. I played basketball since I was in 4th grade, organized basketball, so up to 12th grade. And so that was something that I knew I was really good at. So I had that confidence there. And then I would do like, mock trial or different things in school, and I found success. And my mom being an English teacher, I know that had something to do with it, because I would come home with my essays and have to do my work, and your parents want to look over your stuff, and you're like, I don't want this, but so after a while she said, okay, I think you got it, so she left me alone. She didn't keep on pressing me.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that early on, I had things that I was good at. And
Mm-hmm.
so I felt like I could explore other things and I wouldn't be so distraught if I wasn't good at it. I'm like, okay, well, just find something else that I can do. It wasn't like, oh, I'm never going to be anything now that I can't play golf or, whatever it is. It's like, okay, you're good at basketball. What else? Focusing on the positives. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I've just been, and I do aim and consciously try to be a positive person. I don't like to dwell on the negative. I address it, but I don't like to wallow. My friends will tell you, I'm not the person that you can come with these pity party stories. And I mean, I'll let you get it off off your chest once, but we're not going to keep revisiting the same dreary, like downtrodden. So I can't. So what are we going to do about it? That's my question. So I think the confidence has just come from, like I said, my upbringing. My parents were very loving, supportive. My family, I had great teachers. I've had a good life. I mean, I'll say that. I mean, it hasn't been perfect, like no one's is, but overall, the structure was solid. And so my parents made me feel secure that I could, try new things, and if it didn't work out, you try something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you said with the negative, you just address it,
Yes.
which
And then
means break that
and
down.
well, I mean, I'm just more of a problem solving type of person. I
Okay.
just, and I love, my dad is very calm.
Mm-hmm.
So early on, I might have been a little more anxious about things, like say, like, your tire pop. Oh my God, I can't believe this tire. Okay, well, all this emotion really is, do you have AAA? Like, that's what he'll say. It's like, okay, all right, great. Moving on. Like, we're not going to go there, because all that emotion, brings up your blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And why are we in that space? Call AAA. They come out, they fix your tire, and you move on.
Yeah.
I mean, and sometimes, I mean, life gets to all of us. So there's times where I have to talk to myself, like, okay, you can have your little time, but you move quickly. I don't like to be in that space. I want to be happy. I want to laugh. I want to be around people who are aspiring to do amazing things, or even if they don't know how to do something, they're learning or growing, trying to do something positive, because the negativity just doesn't do anything for my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And it stifles my creativity. And we should just, I mean, we don't know how long we're going to be here. So I don't want to spend more time than I have to on being sad or depressed or whatever that emotional state is. I'm like, hey, what can we do to make life better? How can I help you? Is there something that makes sense for us to solve this problem so it doesn't happen again? Now, if you keep doing the same thing, I don't know what to tell you,
Right.
but I will definitely be that friend to just listen. If you just need me to listen, that's fine too. I'm okay. I can shut my mouth. But I do feel like I give good advice, sound advice, and I'm coming from a place of love and wanting to see you be your best self as well. So I think my friends appreciate that about me. So that's
Listen, I just met you and I appreciate that about you already. I'm like, okay, queen.
oh, thank you.
I mean, because you seem so young and youthful. I don't know what your age is, but I mean, you're speaking from such a place of wisdom.
I think I've always had like an old soul. That's what my mom and everyone
Mm,
tells me.
I feel
She's
it.
like, you didn't talk a lot, but you observed a lot. I said, oh, yes. And I'm still there.
You're like a
I don't,
sponge, just taking it all in.
yeah, I mean, I think, she helped me kind of get out of that perfectionist mode, because I was so set on it. Everything, I have to get an A, I have to do this. And, everything has to be perfect. It's like, it's not going to happen like that. So you need to calm down. You're going to be okay. And I think once I kind of got that in my spirit, I still want to put forth my best foot. I want to be excellent. I want to be great. I want to be I want to do well. I want to present myself well. I want to represent my family well.
Mm-hmm.
But, certain things don't always work out the way we want them to. And when they don't, it's like, how do you move on? How do you cope with that? And I
Yeah.
think, having my parents the way that they both are, um, nurturing, and just knowing that, you'll be okay. And I just have to kind of hold that to whatever the circumstances. Like, my grandmother was a very big influence on me musically. She would make me sing at family gatherings and things like that. And she just passed away a couple months ago.
Aw,
And
grandma.
I know, and it was rough because I'm the oldest grandchild,
Mm-hmm.
but I know the things that she, wanted for us and that she saw in us that we didn't see in ourselves.
Mm.
And so I'm forever grateful for those times she was like making us come from the back and saying, when we were trying to hide, like, I'm not singing in front of these people. Like, oh yes, you are. I want to hear Andrea. I want to hear great is thy faithfulness, whatever she had on her brain. And we did it. And you can't get those moments back.
Yeah.
So, I've just been very blessed to have people that believed in me and saw things in me that I didn't see in myself, early on. And then
Mm-hmm.
when I was able to come into it, then I felt more confident because I'm like, oh, I already have support, but now I believe it.
Yeah.
Now I get it, you know.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's always at least one person, that's there believing in you,
Hmm.
because I just firmly believe that you just got to pay attention to see who that is sometimes,
Right.
especially for people that are in situations where it might not be, the ideal like mom or dad,
Correct.
but there's usually someone
Hmm.
in the circle
Right.
that's, got a heart towards you or for you,
Right.
and you just got to tap into that. Now, you said your mom was the one that helped you kind of move from being a perfectionist.
Hmm.
How long would you say it took for you to get out of that place of kind of getting over yourself and not needing to be perfect?
I remember that being like around junior high,
Mm-hmm.
like going to high school. So maybe like freshman year or so. Just that's a rough time for kids sometimes. You're trying to figure hormones and trying to figure out what's going on. I'm like, oh, I'm growing, and I'm like liking boys, and it's
Yeah.
just a whole lot of things that you don't see coming. You're just, when you're, 5 or 6, you're playing around, having fun. Then you get to junior high, high school, there's some real issues going on. I mean, so I just think that my mom was able to just kind of give me those talks, and I can talk to her about anything and just say, hey, whatever you decide to do, make sure it's for you. Not Don't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm living my life. I mean, I'm your mom, but whether you get an A on your test or not is not going to affect me. I have my degree. I have, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm out of school, to do it for you. And so
Mm-hmm.
that really clicked for me. It's like, hey, I want my parents to be proud of me, but at the end of the day, am I proud of me? So that's where the switch was. And so once I got to high school, I mean, looking back, I was popular in high school, but I didn't know it. I was just playing basketball and singing and doing whatever I was doing, but I was so busy
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so I think that was probably best that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Um, but I've always been a hard worker. I've always wanted to kind of put my best foot forward. And I remember even volunteering in like elementary school, like to help my teacher, like pass out paper, teacher's pet kind of thing. I mean,
Mm.
I'm good with that now, but I think that was just in me to like do something extra, do
Yeah.
more, and I think that that's where it lies. I mean, I tell a lot of younger artists that I know, you have to be willing to do more. That's what extraordinary is. It's extra from the ordinary. It's like, who's going to pay attention if you're just
Right.
doing the same thing everyone else is? But you have to be authentic, though. You can't follow, a trend or be, part of a gimmick because everybody's doing that. You're not going to stand out that way. And I think that has been part of my success as well. I really try to stay, grounded, connected to God and how I want to present myself and market myself. And I also know that even though I'm not famous or a celebrity, I know that other people are looking at my journey. And I don't want to be the cause of them, saying, oh, I can act this way and I can do that and I'm still going to make it. It's like, you might, but how are you going to feel about yourself? I want to feel good every morning. I sleep good at night. I don't worry about how I treated somebody or what I did, or if I took somebody's money. I didn't. I'm going to bed and I feel good about what the work that I put in for my dreams,
Yeah.
So
that's good. Yes. How you gonna feel about yourself? I like it.
Like my mom said, how's that working for you?
Say that, yes. How's that working for you? Oh my gosh, so many places we could go from there, but let me just ask this. Okay. So do you have any who are like your influences?
Oh wow. So many, but of course Aretha was my top. I mean,
really,
whenever she came to LA or surrounding areas, I would be there. I love Stevie Wonder, incredible artist. Whitney Houston was really like, as a young person, she was like the go-to. I'm like, Whitney was everything to me. So I got to see her in concert as a kid, and that really was inspiring. And then, I love Gladys Knight, all of these, artists, Patti LaBelle. But when you look at some of the newer artists, like I love PJ Morton.
Okay.
And old school gospel, I love like John P. Key, or newer gospel, Dawkins and Dawkins. I have so many. I feel like these people taught me how to sing too. I'm like in there singing all this, amazing music, Natalie Cole, and some of these people I did actually have a chance to work with or have worked with. Wow. And so it's just been surreal, because I remember practicing or singing their songs in my room, and then to meet them or to, sing with them is just like, wow. Like, some nights after these gigs, I just stay up late because I'm just like in awe. And all these years later, it still is so exciting to me. And I'm just feel so grateful, like overwhelmed. Like I'm so high off of just the experience of getting to meet or work with some of these greats, there's so many artists, her, D'Angelo. I mean, there's just so many. I love great music. But those artists like Aretha, oh man, it's just the soul, the anointing, that Amazing Grace CD that she put out, that documentary that came out, was just incredible. I was sitting there watching it like, I should have been there. I wish I probably would have been able to help myself. I would have been out of there. It's just the passion and the excellence that they brought. I think there's some great artists in our age group, our lifetime right now, but I feel like there was a different work ethic. I feel like there was a different passion about the music, and the music was different. Sometimes some of this stuff, I don't know what's being said or what the message is, and it all has its place. I'm like, hey, congrats on your success. I just need to find my niche. So there's a place for everyone. I don't say, oh, that music is bad or that music is, horrible. It's just like, hey, somebody's listening to it. So it may not be my cup of tea, but I think that it's important not to ever say, oh, to someone like, oh, you're not going to make it, or yeah, that's not going to fly, because you don't know. Yeah. You never know. There's an audience for all kinds of things in this world.
That is so true. I think you just
have to be true to yourself and say, hey, I may not want to support that, but to each his own. I try not to discourage people, because I've seen people have those stories where someone definitely told them, hey, you're not good enough. That idea is horrible. That song is whack. And then it's like on the billboards, it's like, oh, well, you don't know, so just stick to what you mind your business, and
Yeah.
stay close to your, or true to your path. That's what I just tell people. Be your authentic self. And when you don't deviate from that, I feel like I have a testimony. I know that I would definitely tell you, hey, just stay true to yourself, do what you love, make sure you're not hurting anyone else in the process. Keep it legal, and
Keep it
I mean,
legal.
you want to be free to do these things, to do your art,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a great journey. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart, um, because there have been some ups and downs,
Mm-hmm.
but I would not trade it. I'm having an absolute ball right now. Like, I feel like 21 years, I'm just getting warmed up. I feel it now. I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. I mean, not that I didn't want to do it, but the passion, and I think the pandemic might have, you know, just fueled me a little more because I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I miss it. I gotta do it. So,
Mm.
I'm excited about the future. I don't even know what's going on. I called this August abundance, and things just started happening. I mean, and I'm like, hey, I didn't have this planned, but I feel like there's power in affirmation.
Yeah.
There's power in prayer. There's power in putting in hard work, and there's power in, connecting with other people and letting people know what you want to do. Because sometimes I didn't even know you did voiceover. Hey, can you do this for me? I have a company and I'm doing. Sure. Hey, I need a jingle for my business. Sure. You know, all right, let's go. So I'm not going with the flow. I mean, because I still will shut it down if it's not in the flow of what I want to do.
Uh-huh.
But I am welcoming abundance, and I'm walking in my purpose, and I'm so fired up. I'm cracking up laughing because I'm so excited. I guess I can't stop smiling. I'm just so excited about what's to come, and I don't even know what's to come, but I feel good about it. You know,
Girl, you stirring me up. I mean,
I'm like, let's go.
the light is bright.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
I was gonna ask you, what's coming up for you? What do you have that you want to highlight?
Well, one thing I will speak to is I written a new song called Through a Child's Eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's for a film called Baby Girl that's by Don B. Welch, and it talks about the missing Black and brown girls sex trafficking. And so I feel like it's my most important song that I've written to date, um, and I cannot wait for it to come out. I have never tackled a subject matter like this. So I wasn't sure how it would come across in a song. I'm like, we want to hear about this in a song, but I was able to, and I thank God for giving me the creativity to kind of come up with a way to talk about seeing the world through a child's eyes, and
Mm-hmm.
how fear shouldn't exist. And, I have gotten some great feedback from it so far. So I'm so excited. We're going to take it to the festivals, and the film to the festivals,
Yeah.
and I definitely want to submit my music, in the runnings for some of those awards, because I do think that it's a very important topic, and I
Mm-hmm.
also want to start getting it out to some of those agencies that do work with some of the girls and some of the young men that are being trafficked, and trying to come out of that life. So that's like the focus now. It's like once you write a song, then it's like getting the copyrights, and then you have to start getting it ready for iTunes or whatever music platform, and
Yeah.
then the marketing of it. So it doesn't stop with the song being done, but at least I feel confident in the work that I've put in, and the content, and I feel like it's going to really help. um, I feel it's going to really help some people feel better about their situation.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's like, you tackle these hard subjects, but I feel like being able to contribute musically is still a great gift, even if I'm not acting in it, or I
Yeah.
didn't write it, but I'm still able to provide music is so important. I think think of your favorite movies and you're like, oh, I know what song was there at that scene. Yeah, that's what I aspire to, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I remember that song came on that scene. Oh my God. Like, I want people to remember that. So
Yeah.
I'm just excited about, new films and other projects coming up. Um, but that's the one that's most recent that we haven't released yet, and will be coming out soon, called Baby Girl.
Very, very exciting. Yeah, it's I love how music has the ability to just kind of imprint. It just
Hmm.
imprints,
Right.
and stuff like you said. I mean, there's songs like even from when I was a child, is like that still resonate, and I could
Hmm.
just sing them, and it takes me right back to that time.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so powerful. And I think once I kind of realized that, and then I had some, success in getting them placed in the films, it's
Hmm.
like, oh, I love this. And like, there's nothing like sitting in the theater and seeing the credits roll and your music playing. You're like, this is it. This is what I worked for. And these are the moments that I, aspired to, and they're happening. So, I'm grateful for every opportunity, and each challenge that arises. Some I can't take on everything that comes my way,
Hmm.
but and I ask God, hey, I don't need all the gigs, I just need the right ones. And so
Mm.
far I feel like I've gotten all the right ones, so I
Yeah.
believe what's for me is for me. And I'm going to be prepared when things come my way. But you know if certain opportunities don't happen, it wasn't for me you
Yeah.
know
Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations. There's so
Thank
many good
you.
things happening. I just feel honored to actually meet you
Oh,
to
same
say
here.
I know
I
Andrea.
appreciate you wanting to hear about my story.
Yeah, this has been great. Hard to believe that we've almost been on here an hour, but we have.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Time flies when you're having fun.
yes, I've been having fun hearing all your story and all your amazingness oozing out. Uh, um, but okay, so if people want to connect with you, do you have a website? Do you have well, we know you're on TikTok.
Yes. Hey.
Where else are you?
I have a website. It's official Andrea Jones, and that's AndreaJones. And then my Instagram is official Andrea Jones as well. And everything is pretty much at the website. My Facebook links and all of that. Same thing. Facebook is official Andrea Jones. So I try to keep everything pretty consistent.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram most often. Not Twitter, not so much. And but TikTok, yes, I repurpose a lot of the videos from TikTok to Instagram or Facebook. It's just like one and done. And you're like, hey, let's share it over here too.
Yeah, why not?
So, but yeah, I am always around. I'm always posting and enjoying my social media. So you'll find me. And if you want to contact me, the email is in the website as well. So
All right, you guys, you got that. It's official Andrea Jones. Let me tell you, my cheeks actually hurt. I think I have literally smiled the whole time. Like, I
me
don't think
too.
that I've done that. And this is like 30 something
Wow.
episodes. And I just noticed like my cheeks hurt for the first time because you just brought a smile to my face.
Oh, thank you. Well, you're a great interviewer. I had a wonderful time.
Well, I love your spirit. I can't wait to hear some more of the music that's coming from you, and the things that you're doing. Thank you so much for being our guest
Thank
this
you.
week.
It
And
was my pleasure.
yeah, we look forward to staying connected.
Sounds good.
All right, you guys, you have been listening to For the Artist, a podcast brought to you by Creative M Projects, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to helping young artists develop from the inside out. If you would like to make a donation, just go to our website, creativemprojects.org. Yes, do that.
Yes.
creativemprojects.org. But as we always say, until the next episode, y'all keep creating from the inside out. Much love and peace.